Welcome to Truck Chat, a video interview series by Work Truck. In this episode, I'm taking a more personal look at the many faces of fleet. Today, I'm chatting with Jamie Trent, a fleet sales manager of 14 years with Knapheide. In his spare time, he's also a professional musician with many great songs currently recorded and available to listen to. After his most recent recording, Throwbacks and Keepers, hit number 90 on the Music Row top charts, I had the chance to catch up with him to chat about his music, the incredible support he gets from Knapheide, a nonprofit he supports, and how music and trucking connect. Jamie, thanks so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks, Lauren.
Oh, I appreciate it. Let's get started right away with your background in fleet. So how did you first get started at Knapheide?
Yeah, I'm going on 15 years now in October. I started out as a regional sales manager and covered the Northeast. So from Maine down to Virginia, sort of that 95 corridor. And I caught on distributors and dealers. And then about halfway through my career with Knapheide, switched over to the fleet side. And I actually handle the rental segment now, delivery and oil and gas for the company.
That's awesome. So you've had a chance to see a few different sides of that particular industry over at Knapheide.
Yeah, it's been great just seeing all the different ways that you go to market and the different customer bases that you call on. So I love it.
That's wonderful. Moving on to music. What got you started as a musician?
You know, my uncle was in a semi-professional band growing up. My dad sang in church, so I was sort of around it my entire life. But as I was segueing outside of the military, I actually did private parties and weddings and things like that. If you know that movie, The Wedding Singer, I guess I was a self-proclaimed wedding singer, and it helped me pay my way through college. And then it stuck with me ever since.
That is awesome. When we chatted before this call today, you mentioned that Knapheide is incredibly supportive of your music. Can you share a little bit about how they've supported you over the years?
Oh man, I can't even quantify how supportive they've been, but I'll do my best. I would pre-COVID, I would go into the factory along with my coworkers about 6 or 8 times a year for trainings and things like that. And Mr. Knapheide, who unfortunately passed in 2018, would always ask me when he'd see me, the first thing he'd ask me is pull me aside. And I immediately started thinking, oh, what have I done? What did I screw up? And he would ask, he's like, so what songs have you written lately? And what's your favorite football? How's your football team doing? And I actually wrote a song about his passing and performed it at our NTEA event a few years ago. They've always sort of reeled me in to sing different songs. And they're very pro having a life outside of work. They believe that you're the best version of yourself when you have that. And that just a testament to how supportive they've been to me. So
That's awesome. You know, the work-life balance is incredibly important. And I think we've all seen that over the past year, especially with so many more working from home and having to really see what that balance is. So that's great to hear that they were supportive of you and continue to be.
yeah, and like many of us, I mean, I was guilty as anybody of not having that proper work-life balance. And I always sort of brought work home with me. Well, when you're stuck at home, there's no bringing it home with you. It's with you. So to be able to step away, but know that you have the support of the company that you work for is just great. It's sort of a load off your back. So I'm just so thankful and blessed to be part of this organization.
That's awesome. And let's segue back into your music. So I listened to your newest release, Throwbacks and Keepers. I absolutely loved it. It is the perfect song to play while fishing, while relaxing, when you're thinking about fishing. It's just an exciting song. You have several different types of music that I've listened to you. What inspires you to write your songs?
You know, a good friend of mine who's a professional musician told me a few years back, he said, Jamie, if you try to write to the radio, it's going to make you a liar. So do what inspires you. And for me, that's the beach first and foremost, but not just the beach itself, the people, the places, the things. And that's what inspires me. And I've written an awful lot of songs, like you mentioned, Throwbacks and Keepers, about that area or about the beach. And that's a big inspiration. And every year on my daughter's birthday, I write her a birthday song. And just another way to keep the creative juices flowing and stuff like that. But those are the two biggest inspirations by far.
That is wonderful. You mentioned your military past. And again, while we chatted, you mentioned that you work with a nonprofit, Songwriting with Soldiers. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a 501c3 company, as you mentioned at the start. They pair um, vets, active duty military, and their families who suffer from PTSD and other traumatic brain injuries, and they pair them with professional songwriters. And basically, the goal is to write songs about their experiences to help facilitate the healing process. Because I've learned long ago that for me, there's nothing as powerful and more cathartic as a song and music, and seeing how this organization has literally changed people's lives and brought them out of the deepest, darkest depressions and brought them back to the best version of themselves has just been life changing for me. And I'm so grateful to be a part of just a little part of what I do with the organization.
Well, I'm sure that there's a lot of people very grateful for the medicine of music that you've been bringing to them. And I thank you for your service and for what you've been doing for those who have served. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Lauren, so much.
So, tying it all back together, is there anything that you've learned from songwriting, playing, recording your music that has benefited your career as a fleet sales manager?
That's a good question. This may sound cliche, but I promise for me, it's not. And it's just being authentic. Um, I can't tell you how many times I've performed, whether it's in a coffee shop or in some other environment where if they know you're not being authentic, they can see that. And if you segue that into a conference room, I'm sure you've given presentations before. I've given many, many myself. If the folks that you're presenting to don't believe in what you're saying, they're going to glaze over really quick. And that's the biggest thing, is just being authentic and true to yourself and having confidence in what you're pitching or performing. And that's really been a big help for me, because I struggled with that for a very long time. So it's a
That's an
work in
excellent
progress.
connection. No, I love it. I love it. Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and share your story. It's incredible. For anyone interested in listening to his music or for more information on the Faces of Fleet, check out our links below. Sign up for Work Truck's newsletters so you don't miss an episode. And thanks for tuning in. Keep a watch for more episodes of Truck Chat, where we focus on the people and the issues that matter most to work truck fleets. Thanks.